You're cleared for takeoff. Power up. Here we go, but something's not right. Is your parking brake still set? Let's take a closer look at this important part of our airplanes.
Yeah, 396 Delta Mike, we're on the roll, 28. Power's coming up. Takeoff power set. 2 good engines. Wow, it's like they're really heavy. Oh, slow. And airspeed's alive. I think we're gonna get 70 knots. We got to abort. 396 Delta Mike is boarding runway 28.
November 396 Delta Mike, roger.
Get this airplane slow. What in the world? What's... Oh, jeez. The parking brake. Dang.
Several citation accidents have happened where the parking brake may have been partially set during the takeoff roll. Let's look at a few safety recommendations from the Safety and Education Foundation on use of the parking brake. Number 1, we do recommend that anytime you're stopped on the surface, you set the parking brake. Number 2, anytime you set the parking brake, apply maximum toe brake pressure. We'll look at the effect this has in a minute. Number 3, a lot of our members use a verbal enunciation that they have set the parking brake, even if they're alone in the cockpit, to remind themselves that the parking brake is set. Let's look at a couple different situations with the parking brake. Some pilots don't understand how the parking brake works. The handle itself is just a trapping valve that we're engaging. If I pull the parking brake handle out and I don't apply any brakes whatsoever, then when I apply takeoff thrust, the airplane should accelerate as normal. I haven't applied any brakes, so having the handle out doesn't really have any effect to the acceleration of the airplane. The brakes are not engaged. Let's back up and look at a different situation. Now let's look at what happens if I apply just very light toe brakes and apply the parking brake handle. When I apply takeoff thrust, the parking brake is only locking in that light toe brake application I had. To me, looking out the window and feeling the acceleration of the airplane, I may not notice anything very different, but I am definitely having some braking applied during this takeoff roll. This could lead to that overrun that David experienced. Let's look at the right way to do it. If I make it my SOP that every time I set the parking brake, I do it with maximum toe brake pressure, then if for some reason I become distracted after holding on the runway for a while and I attempt to take off, the airplane's either not going to roll at all or it's going to move so slowly I'm going to absolutely know something is wrong, because right now this is the equivalent of me holding the brakes as hard as I can. So by applying maximum toe brakes every single time I set the parking brake handle, I'm setting myself up for a more error-proof situation should I ever forget to release the brake handle. Because as we sit here in the Mustang with the parking brake applied and takeoff thrust, we receive no takeoff configuration warning that we will see in a minute in another aircraft. In contrast to the M2 or CJ3 Plus,
no takeoff. No takeoff. No takeoff. No takeoff.
in the CJ3, we will not receive any annunciator or message when the parking brake is set, and if we should attempt to take off, we do not receive a configuration warning when the thrust levers are moved to the TO detent with the parking brake still engaged. Finally, remember, if you find yourself in this situation and try to take off with the parking brake partially applied, your brakes may have heated up to the point that they can no longer absorb the energy of the airplane and properly stop.
Neil, that's great information that we can all use. Check out our library of over 25 safety videos. Be sure to go to the safety tab on citationjetpilots.com. Until next time, safe flying.